Good morning, gladiators. It is Tuesday, September 1st. So let's go ahead and get started. I am excited to be introducing our content. I know a lot of you were very optimistic about what we were learning yesterday, and you were very enthusiastic about it, asking wonderful questions. So today we're going to go ahead and get started with our assignment, and we're going to continue with what we have learned yesterday. Now, one thing that you need to understand is, we're going to be learning all kinds of aspects, whether it's human or physical geography, and then how does the human geography affect the physical geography. So we're going to learn so much about that as we keep going, because you'll notice that a lot of the effects that humans do to the land, right? It can either cause damage later on with nature not being very happy with it, right? And this is where we hear global warming. That could be a part of it. Whether you agree or disagree, many believe that this is one of the big factors, right? Another thing that we'll also talk about is how does it impact the economy in the area? Are people using the natural resources? Are they abusing the natural resources? Are they utilizing them in the correct way, or are they utilizing them where they're just taking advantage of what nature has given to us, has provided for us, right? And are we like overutilizing it? And if so, is that causing desertification? So we'll learn about that, right? These are big vocabulary words you haven't heard. So I will be introducing them to you this week. And then the more and more we discuss it, it's just going to be old news. You'll know all the vocabulary. You'll get very familiar with it. Like, oh yeah, I already know what that means. So we're going to be learning a lot about adaptation and modification. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, so for today, you're going to read an article on human and physical geography. I went ahead and attached a PDF document here. So I know some people had said they don't like for me to attach it because it's too small. So just go ahead and click on that and you should be able to see it. Then you're going to go to your actual assignment. You will also notice that in the assignment, that article is also in there. All right, so you're able to enlarge it as a Google slide. Your objective is on here. But let's talk a little bit about physical and human geography. All right, so when you think about when you're studying nature, you're studying people, you want to talk about the effects, right? How are we using those resources, as I mentioned earlier? And then you also need to think about when you have nature, how is climate? Is climate involved here? Is it too cold? Is it too hot? Is there a lot of rain? Are there a lot of hurricanes? Are there a lot of earthquakes? So you have to take all that into consideration, right? When you're studying nature, because nature, even though it's predictable, in a lot of times it can be unpredictable, right? We don't know what patterns it's going to take. Let's talk about like the hurricanes that just recently happened. We expected two hurricanes to collide in the Gulf, and that had never happened ever. They didn't collide, but I think Hurricane Laura, was it? She got bigger and bigger and bigger. So, again, it's very unpredictable. You can't tell what it's going to do. But there are a lot of other predictable things that, meteorologists are able to detect. Geologists can detect. Fault lines are able to tell, what the earthquake size was, using the Richter scale. There are so many things that nature provides us, and then you have the people who are able to recognize the patterns of what nature is doing when it comes to volcanoes, earthquakes, hurricanes, tornadoes. You can more or less tell the seasons. And the same thing with the weather, right? You know when it's going to be cold, you know when it's going to be hot. But then you have to think about the people that live in those areas, right? So this is where studying people comes from. What do they do with that area? How do they utilize the area? Right? Are they adapting to it? Are they modifying the area to fit their needs? More than likely, yes. That is definitely happening. So we're going to talk a little bit about that as we go along. So for today's assignment, you're going to not only read the article, Studying Nature and Studying People, you're also going to read this. What is the relationship between people and nature? And you're going to be thinking like a geographer, right? So put on your social studies hats and let's think about how can I use the material that I have just read to be able to answer these questions. So what is geography and what is the job of a geographer? And you'll notice that I put type text here, okay? And then you're going to answer this question as well. Then you're going to watch these two videos. Again, it's going to ask you, you're going to use the two videos to answer the questions. What is it like to be a geographer in the present day? So like right now, what is it like? And you're going to give me 3 to 5 facts. And then you're also going to tell me what surprised you. Okay. Then you're going to go here, you're going to use the text excerpts to help complete the characteristics of physical and human geography. So you may need to watch a clip more than once. And of course, you can always go back and reread the article. Since I gave you a PDF document, you can either scroll up and down or you can open up on the different tab. Okay. So you're going to give me in your best words, okay, the best descriptions that you can give me. You're kind of going to duplicate what you already wrote, but you're going to add a little bit more to it. Here it tells you to draw 3 items to represent physical geography. Obviously, you can't draw it, so don't draw it. You're going to provide 3 items to represent physical geography. Okay? And the same thing here. You're going to provide 3 items to represent human geography. And that's all you have to do, my angels. All right. So I can't wait to see you during the Zoom because we have a lot to discuss. We're going to go in depth in with the lesson today, and we'll be able to read the article together and also watch the videos together and kind of discuss it a little bit further. So this way you're able to better understand what you're doing. All right. So please log into your Zoom and we'll see you in a little bit. See you later, gladiators.